Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Dollar. I am your host, Kate McCready, and I am here with
Art Morrison III.
And this is episode 5 of our podcast. How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel good.
You excited?
Yeah, it's Friday. I mean, it's not Friday today, but when y'all listening to this, it'll be Friday.
Okay.
So this is like our Friday episode, so we got to bring the Friday energy.
All right. So what are we talking about today?
I don't know, you tell me, you the host. What do you have in store for us?
Today, mentorship is the topic.
Mentorship.
This was something that you really wanted to talk about. You had mentioned it a few times.
Yeah, I mean, mentorship is one of the first pathways or entryways to get into real estate. A lot of people don't understand that. I saw a post on, like I said, Bigger Pockets.
Okay.
Shout out to them. But I saw a post where it basically broke down like 3 different ways you can leverage mentorship. More so than like, hey, here's $5,000, teach me real estate. Or, hey, let me buy your course, which is also important, right? Investing in yourself and that form of mentorship. But bigger than that, like even us as an established real estate company, we have 2 or 3 other investor friends who have more experience or experience in a different lane. So if we ever wanted to jump into that lane, we could leverage whatever it is we had to offer. Whether it's our ability to find properties, whether it's our organizational skills, branding skills, content, creating skills, and we can leverage that as well as our mentorship relationship to find ourselves in a different lane and learn a new craft within real estate, right? So that's mentorship once you're already in it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm excited about this episode because I want to share with everyone not only how we got into the game, but how they can get into the game by leveraging that same thing. It's like, hey, I have a talent, a couple different talents. I don't know real estate as well as I want to yet, but you do. How can we match those talents? And even if I only get a percentage of a deal, just let me get in a deal while you teach me or I learn just from the experience, and I'll bring whatever value I can.
Right. Okay.
So that concept, I want to dive into that.
Okay.
Which is like a real estate thing, but it's also a general like how to leverage
in business
value.
and life.
Yeah, business, entrepreneurship, life, yeah, for sure.
Right. So would you say mentorship is essential?
I would say that in real estate, yeah, mentorship is 100% essential. Mm-hmm. Because it's one of those things where, I mean, you can attest to this, you don't really know until you're in it.
Right.
So you're either going to be in it not knowing. No. You're always going to be in it not knowing at the beginning. It's impossible to be, you know what I mean? This might be like a nice little cutout quote.
Okay.
It's impossible to enter the real estate game knowing everything. Yeah. It's impossible to jump into real estate knowing everything. So if you are waiting until you know everything before you invest or before you jump in, then you're going to be waiting forever. Mm-hmm. So what is the most risk-free way of getting into real estate? Providing value, whether it's your cash, whether it's credit, whether it's the knowledge you think you have, whether it's just your energy. What's the quickest way to leverage your way into real estate with those things, but without any experience? Mentorship, partnering up, linking up, shadowing, whatever, somebody who has more experience than you do to kind of mitigate the losses that you may or may not experience because of your lack of experience.
Right.
So, yeah.
I would say mentorship is essential, and off of this reason alone, the big names that we know, whether they're in real estate or higher ups in other types of businesses or industries, all of them talk about having a mentor. So the best of the best, or at least the gurus that we know, all of them talk about having a mentor, whether it's in business or spiritually or whatever it may be. Yeah. A lot of people have multiple mentors for that reason, for different aspects of life.
Yeah. No, for sure, because I used to always think that gurus or mentors, I don't like the word guru, so whenever we use that word, let's make sure we use it in a negative light. Yeah, never use it in a good light.
So gurus are bad.
Gurus are bad.
Keep that note, okay.
But no, all jokes aside, whenever you see an ad or a guru, right, mm-hmm. trying to sell you on their mentorship, they always say that they have a mentor. So I was taking it like that at first, but then now that I'm in the position to actually mentor people and things like that, it's like, I totally get it, because the way I got into this game, was through someone taking me under the wing or seeing my talent or seeing something I had to offer. In our case, it was a property at the time.
Right.
And saying, hey, listen, like, all right, let's look at it from the mentor's side of things. A mentor sees us, we're young, we create content well, we bring energy, we're smart, we're dedicated,
Right.
we're motivated, and we know how to find properties. So if we have a property and all those traits that we just said, and a mentor sees us and sees that we need to learn or sees that we're hesitant because of what we don't know, it's literally a match made in heaven. So
I was going to say, I would jump on that opportunity.
yeah,
right
for
there.
sure. I mean, even as a mentor now, I see it. I have a ton of mentees that like, we have mentees that are like, hey, I have $100,000 and I never did a deal before. Can you mentor me? And I'm like, all right, like I could charge you for mentorship, or like let's just do a deal together. You have the cash, I can bring a property to the table, I can bring lenders, I can bring a lot of value, and in return you're gonna learn, and I'm gonna flip a house. In this case, in that made up example I just did, I'm gonna flip a house for none of my own money, right? So,
Right.
or I'm gonna buy an apartment building for none of my own money or whatever. So it's a win-win. So a lot of people misconstrue like the mentorship or relationship for like, I'm paying you for mentorship, or I'm lower than you because you're mentoring me, when really it just means, hey, I have more experience than you in this field. We're gonna work together, and the skin you have in the game, or the benefit you're gonna get from the relationship, is that you're mentored. But don't get it twisted. At the same time, you can still make money too. It's not
While
like
you're being mentored.
yeah, for sure. Like yo, if you have absolutely no value, then yeah, sure. Like pay somebody straight up money for mentorship. Cool. Or if you're just really not ready to do a deal, that's cool as well. But if you have any bit of value, I mean, I almost would recommend like, yo, don't pay anybody for mentorship if you feel like you really bring value to the table.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not, I mean, we didn't pay for mentorship
Right.
because we brought so much value to the
brought
table.
value,
At the
yeah.
time, I think we brought social media management to the table. We brought, obviously, experience in entrepreneurship with my previous business to the table. Time. We had two people. We came in a package deal of two people who could do the small tasks that the average person, and this really attests to, this could be a whole nother episode. You want to write that down?
Yeah.
The investment of time. But we had two people, which is double the time most people have, willing to dedicate their whole, essentially 9 to 5 or 40 hours a week towards real estate. That's so valuable because a lot of the people who are investors do other things or they still have a job, right? So anyway, my point is that we provided all that value. So if we were to bring all that to the table, plus we were the ones who had the contract, the property under contract. So we brought all that plus a property. So if somebody were to come to us and said, hey, I'll help you flip that property for 50% of the deal and $10,000, I would be like, nah, man, I'm good, because we're bringing too much value. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
if we didn't have any of that value and we were just wet behind the ears and knew nothing, and didn't have a property, then yeah, it's like, hey, Mr. Mentor, I see you're about to flip a house.
Right.
I want to learn. Here's $5,000, $10,000 to shadow that deal, because that information is priceless, because it's information through experience, as opposed to $300 and buying a course, $300, $400 getting your real estate license. Like
Yeah.
you had your real estate license early on in the game. What would you say you learned from more, the real estate class you took, or actually being in real estate?
It's by far being in real estate.
By far. So
Yeah.
like I was in real estate a little bit before you. So if you didn't have me to directly mentor you, it would have been even more shaky, even though you were in real estate. It would have
Right.
been like an anxiety filled, like everything would be new.
Yeah, you just stumble your way through.
You just stumble your way through, which honestly you're going to do anyway. But
Yeah.
you might as well do it with someone who has stumbled before you. You know what I'm saying?
So another thing that we spoke about, this was obviously not yet in this episode, but we talked about how mentorship, if done right, could actually elevate your circle.
Oh, for sure.
So speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's like a perpetual circle strengthener.
Right.
So let's say if I'm in wholesale, I mean I do this now, right?
Yeah.
So like Isaac, master wholesaler. Me, I skipped wholesaler. I came in as a syndicator, right? There's other investors that are just masters of credit. Like they just know how to flip houses and leverage their credit for lines of credit, whatever, right? Like they're just credit masters. Then you have people who I mean, shoot, my brother is a fund manager, right? So he's bringing a whole different type of insight
Right.
and mentorship. But because he's a fund manager, he's not operating at the level of, let's say, Isaac, who flips house, who wholesales, or us, who probably syndicates and flip houses with other people's money.
Right.
We have another partner/mentor who does property management, so he knows how to deal with tenants and buy and hold. So we're all constantly teaching.
So that's a lot of mentors, right?
Yeah, but like we all mentor each other. Like literally, like not like, oh, we all help each other, we're all each other's crutches. No, it's a very direct, we are each other's mentor. We mentor Reggie all the time in branding and websites and social media and all that. He'll mentor us in, some like strict realtor things, or like I said, property management. Isaac on finding properties, right? But then we'll also give Isaac advice on whether it's general entrepreneurship stuff or, flipping the houses and how to get funded and so on. And it's just this infinite circle. But now our circle's so strong that if we ever decided to do something big, 100-unit apartment building, and we formed Voltron with all these mentors and mentees, we would easily be able to do it because we're all strengthening one another over time. So I can't imagine how strong this circle is going to be, A, and then B, how big the circle is going to be because we're all like mentoring other people and networking, in 5 or 10 years. What is that going to look like? So I feel like the real estate game, not just our circle, but the whole game is like that. The whole game is just people. Oh, I didn't even mention Gotham, who like does kind of exactly what we do, but differently, right? So he mentors us on scaling. We mentor him on really doing it at a smaller level so you can make more money per each deal, right? And now and as well with social media and branding, right? So it's always a push-pull relationship. It's just providing value, right? Like no one would even be welcome into our circle if they weren't providing some sort of value.
I think that's a good point because when we think of mentorship and if you, the listener, or even us, if we're looking to seek mentorship and we're the mentee, I think a lot of the times we think as a mentee, how can I bring value to a mentor?
Just like what you were talking about last time with the DMs and how we like get annoyed when people DM us asking for mentorship or demanding it or feeling entitled to mentorship or help or picking your brain, whatever you want to call it, right? It is very annoying, but I'll tell you what, I get a ton of DMs and messages and inquiries on my website that are not annoying because the person they know how to come. And I think me and you were talking about, what does it mean to come correct? And I think we cracked it on this episode. It just means to bring value.
Right.
Bring value. Tarka always says, my friend Kevin Tarka, who is an agent, sports agent.
There we go.
Yeah, right.
Could be
not a real estate
very
agent.
confusing.
He's a sports agent, whole different industry, but he also has a podcast, but he's always talking about bringing value and being willing to work for free, basically.
Yeah.
Being willing to work for free. No, not being willing to work for free. Whatever. Always
honestly,
I'm not, I don't know. Willing to work for free. He talks about it all the time. But the reason why I bring that up is I had a mentee reach out to me who's already doing real estate, kinda, not at the levels that they want, but they reached out very transparent via my website. But what they said was, hey, I'm doing this full time. I'm not really good at it yet. Maybe we can join forces and I can do what I do for myself for you. Do you need someone to cold call for you?
You know what that's called? An internship.
It's called an internship.
But I think I just bring that up because I think the art of internships is lost because everyone's like, I need to get paid for this. I need to get paid for this. Yeah. You are getting paid in knowledge. And if you're in a position where you want to get into this game, you want to get into a certain industry, if you can jump into some sort of internship, even if it's, kind of unstructured.
Yeah, internship does entail that you work.
Yeah.
You're trading sweat, equity, and time for knowledge and experience. Absolutely.
Think about the people who have interned for us and how much they've learned. So that's just another form of mentorship.
Well, I was even just thinking that you said that. I mean, when you talk about the real estate game, because I have other companies I have internships for and stuff. I'm like, I guess it's worth it. You might get some college credits or you learn entrepreneurship. But real estate is the most value to work for free or whatever the case because it's so much money. And this podcast is called The Daily Dollar. Yeah. We haven't really talked about the actual dollar amount in association with mentorship, but it's so much money in real estate. It's we've taken a lot of shorts in the couple of deals that we've done for the sake of learning.
Yeah.
Our first deal ever should have been a $20,000 wholesale deal. Instead, it was a $15,000 wholesale deal, paid in 3 increments of $5,000 for the sake of us staying in on the deal, being able to use the content in our marketing, being able to learn how to flip, right? And we didn't make that. Now you got a deal that took 6 months and we got paid $5,000 at closing at the end. And I don't know if you guys know, maybe this don't make sense to you, but $15,000 up front, no questions asked, cut the check, is way different than $5,000, $5,000 every 2 months. That's a whole different $15,000.
Right.
Right. So, but was it worth it? I'd say so, because look at us now. That was our first deal ever.
Deal, yeah.
You know what I mean? That was a wholesale syndication mix, but it taught us. I mean, honestly, everything that we do now bases back to that first deal. We've had different experiences and variations, but at the end of the day, that first deal, was it worth being paid slower and being paid less? 1,000%. And if I'm honest with you, now in hindsight, going on our 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th deal right now, I probably would have did that first deal for no money.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, right. Like, so we had the property under contract, so
Right.
I'm not giving nobody a free house. But I'm saying for no, whether it meant we only ate on the back end or whatever. My point is, I would have took whatever because my vision was bigger. So because I combined the concept of like mentorship and learning with the concept of providing value and leverage, like that's all real estate is. That's going to be your whole career. We do that now. We got 2 deals now. That's like, okay, we're going to leverage a relationship. We're going to leverage this other property over here. We're going to leverage something that anywhere we can provide value, we're going to bundle it in a form of leverage. If mentorship is one of those things, which usually it is,
right,
you guys are going to find yourself in a lot of deals. And we keep using mentorship, but if you swapped out the word mentorship in this episode for partnership,
yeah,
the episode would still like make sense.
Which is ideally what mentorship is supposed to be.
Exactly.
If done right. So
yeah, it's like if you're a partner and you bring credit, and I'm a partner and I bring cash, we do deals together.
Right.
But if you're a partner and you bring knowledge, and I'm a partner and I bring money, what is that? Is that a mentorship? No, it's still a partnership.
Yeah.
If you're a partner and you bring experience, and I'm a partner and I bring good credit, what is that? It's a partnership, but it's still mentorship, right? So when you look at it like that, mentorship can be extremely valuable when growing your real estate business, especially in the beginning. Especially in the beginning.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, hit us up. We're willing to mentor. Just provide value.
Yeah.
Would you say so? I mean, where can they find you if they want mentorship from you?
They can find me personally on Instagram at the Kate McCready.
Well, what if they want to pay you money?
What do you mean? What if they want to pay me money?
For your mentorship, where can they find you?
My cash.
No, real estate roadmap, right? So we have a course,
right?
Yeah, we have a course, guys. That's like we love mentorship so much that we took 12 hours and recorded everything that we know. So yes, this podcast, we're just having fun and talking about it. But if you want mentorship pre-recorded on a whiteboard and videos in the field, as well as contract samples and all that, we got to have this plug. The realestateroadmap.com, RE roadmap.com.
Also find us at UnitedHomeRelief.com.
At United Home Relief on Instagram, UnitedHomeRelief.com. I before E, except after freaking C.
And there's no C's. There's no C's in relief.
Ain't no C's in relief, y'all. But no, seriously. So that's one way you can get mentorship at a very affordable cost. But bigger than that, the DMs are always open. I'm at Art Morrison III on Instagram. At
the Kate McCready. As I said before, I will not put my Cash App and Venmo on here, as that's a little tasteless.
Listen, I'm not going to put mine on here, but all I'm going to say is my Cash App and my Venmo is the same as my Instagram account. If you want to donate to the pocket. No, but seriously, thanks guys for tuning into this episode. Art Morrison III here.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe to our YouTube. Give us a good rating on wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Spotify, freaking Anchor, Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever it may be.
Yeah, leave reviews.
Share.
This is the 5th episode. And it's freaking $5 Friday.
Oh, it's $5 Friday.
Why? Because it's the first, so we didn't say this on any of the other episodes.
No. Because I just came up with it.
Right, so yeah, we came up with this last night. It's $5 Friday, so that means you're getting 5 episodes in one day. It's Friday, June 4th.
And it's the drop.
And it's the drop.
The
So
official
today,
drop
the
of our
podcast was actually released, but we released 5 whole episodes.
Of the Daily Dollar, hence $5 Friday.
Yep. Daily Dollar, $5 Friday.
That was pretty creative. That was pretty genius.
Yeah, I guess so. We got to record some more content so we can use it in promo and not on the 5th Like, they're going to be 5 episodes in and they're going to hear this and be like, oh, that's clever. Like, okay. Anyway, guys, Art Morrison III here.
Kate McCready here.
Like, share, subscribe. The Daily Dollar. Welcome and thanks for coming aboard. Tell a family member, tell a friend. Let's talk some real estate. Let's talk making some money. Catch you on the next episode.
See ya.
Peace.